Dang, that's a hell of a lot of things to take on a 1.5 skull. That's insane. And yeah, that would absolutely be the death spiral. Well, hopefully you reload it, but if you're like me, you kind of just, like, unless you do dumb shit like we did with the Santa Claus. Like, I reloaded after that one, but generally speaking, I want to try to, you know, whatever happens, happens. We're gonna live with it. We're playing BTA, Brayden. I have played Rogue Tech as well, but in this case, we're playing BTA. And, I always do this anytime somebody asks. And Brayden, I'm sure you know what BTA is, but I put it out there just for the folks in chat that aren't necessarily familiar with it. So again, I think with this one, it seems like it'll be pretty simple, and it's a destroy base mission, so a lot of our enemies are probably going to be vehicles and turrets. So I'm not expecting the salvage to be great, and then, of course, every time I say that, I end up regretting it. But I think in this case, we go for the payout. And we'll get 3 random pieces of salvage. So we'll do that. We'll go in, reload our Lance Comp, get all of our normal stuff put together. So I'm going to drop the Centurion. I want my baby back Heretic. We're going to stick the battle armor in here. Where is Bigfoot? Oh, you're over on the other page, aren't you? Where are you, Bigfoot? There you are. Put you here. We don't have any more vehicles, so let's do this. I gotta think here. I just saved the Lance Comp, and I didn't put a whole lot of thought into this, so my apologies. So we'll go with the Heretic. We've got Gravelion and the Panther. I kind of want to change up this Panther design, if I'm being honest, but that can come later. That can come later. So we do have our new Griffin, which we've built as a sniper. And what was General Quarters running before? Show me your stats, General Quarters. Damn it. Alright, so we have had you in a Hunchback for a while, which is unfortunate, because now you're going to have to get accustomed to something else. So first off, we know we're bringing Ozark, and we know we're bringing the Griffin. We put this Griffin together specifically for Ozark to replace her Sniper Panther that she's been using since basically the beginning of the campaign. I think we put General Quarters in the Centurion? And Erst, as much as I want to put Erst and the Disco Inferno on the field, I just don't see anywhere in the Lance Comp to do that currently. Yeah. Rex, I can't put you in the game twice. What are you doing? I mean, I can't clone you. I told you before, Rex, you got the Founder's Badge, so you folks are exempt from the toll. If you don't want to pay it, you don't have to pay it. But let me see. Yeah, I think we give General Quarters the Centurion. And as much as I want to bring Erst and the Disco Inferno, I think we're going to leave him out this go around. Although we may have to, I don't know. I want to have Gravelion in as well. We're running this Panther with mortars, so it's kind of indirect fire. We may need to revisit that, because I'm wondering if it even necessarily has a spot in this Lance Comp currently. I guess that's fair, Brayden. We are basically in the business of heresy and war crime, so we could technically clone Rex. Let's go ahead and, well, let me double check, because I'm about to do the dumb thing. And there we go. We will attach the battle armor to the Centurion as you do. And now we'll start the mission. So here we go. But yeah, I think I need to revisit our Lance Comp just a little bit, because up until now, we've mostly been building our lance off of whatever we could get our hands on. You know, whatever mechs we were able to salvage, whatever vehicles we could find in the shop that were cheap enough to afford. You know, that's why we ended up buying a frickin' Scorpion tank of all things. But, I think we're finally getting to the point in the mid-game where we can start to be a little choosy about what we're actually fielding. And I like the Disco Inferno as a dual mech, but I don't know how much more useful it's going to be in standard contracts. Because we're going to be running into heavier and heavier stuff, and while it is fun to use the Disco Inferno, as we start seeing more heavy mechs and eventually assaults, I don't think that a small laser boat is going to be as effective as we're going to need it to be. But again, that doesn't mean that I won't keep Erst on the payroll as our resident Solaris light mech gladiator. He can definitely have a place on the team in that capacity. Team. I don't know if I've mentioned this, chat, but water is delicious. And you should drink water. I just had some water. Alright, let's see. What is the sage wisdom from Darius? Darius says, I'm not expecting a lot of defenders, Commander. Oh gee, that makes me feel just so much better about this mission. But there are likely to be turrets. There's a bonus if we wipe out the base garrison as well. That's your call as the situation on the ground develops. So listen, Brayden, I'm gonna hit you with something, and you can cry foul if you want. I've known plenty of people who do. I am a Texan, born and bred. But I don't like Dr. Pepper. More to the point, the reason I don't like Dr. Pepper is because I think it tastes like cough syrup.
Command interface initiated.
And I understand that a lot of people like that extra cherry flavoring that you get with Dr. Pepper, but to me, that artificial cherry flavor just makes it taste like cough syrup. And I know that makes a lot of people mad. I know there are people that cry heresy, say I'm not a real Texan, but I can't help what I am. Oh yeah, for sure. Sweet tea is where it's at. Especially sun tea. I don't know why, but it just tastes better. Darius says, our intel was right. There aren't any nearby reinforcements, but there are fixed gun emplacements. Well, he says that just before the 2 support lances drop in on top of us, I'm sure. However, I would like you to have a look at this. Look at what the game has done for us. It has put us on the rim of a bowl where we have got basically a tilling field in front of us. Look at this. Our people are going to be getting massive accuracy bonuses, and our artillery is going to be able to put the hurt on these guys almost from turn 1. This is beautiful. I could not have asked for a better setup. Now let's see, how can they actually get up? I'm wondering if they can even get up here. I would think if they can, they would have to take this path here to get up to us. Or they could go the long way around as well. But it looks like they're very limited in their avenues to get close, which is good because we have a lot of long-range firepower. So yeah, this is actually a really, really good setup. So I'm going to, you know what? I think as usual, what kind of turrets are we dealing with? We're dealing with Thunderbolt turret. We're dealing with AC2 turrets. That could be bad. ASLT, assault turret. That sounds bad too. I'm mostly worried about what we're dealing with here, but I'm thinking about reserving everyone down to 1 on this first turn just to let them move, and then we can maximize our we can maximize our height advantage. So I think that's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna reserve everybody to 1. We're gonna cheese it. I'm gonna let all of them move first. And again, we will maximize our height advantage once they have all moved and burned up their evasion. Honestly, Brayden, I'm hoping that assault turret is an AC-20, because if so, then we're not going to have to worry about it until we get closer. So let's see what they're going to do. I didn't even bother to look at the mechs, and I probably should. So we got a Heliopolis. Wow, with an arrow. That, yeah, I think that guy might have just become priority number 1. Let's see what else we got. We got a Jenner. I'm not worried about a Jenner, no matter how many medium lasers it has. We got a Panther. Oh, all right. You do what you do, then. I'll look at the Panther in a second. And there's the Thunderbolts. Which, thankfully, because we have some artillery units, we ought to be able to take out those turrets pretty easily. Because the artillery does more damage to structures, I believe. Well, what the hell was that? That might have been our assault turret in the back. But let's see. This Panther is running an ERPPC and an SRM-4 that's damaged. We got some vehicles that look like they're flanking, and they are relatively heavy vehicles. Alright. Do your thing, I guess.
Barely a scratch. Damage is light.
By the way, I did also customize the voice, Rex. Oh! That arrow. That fucking arrow. But I did, even though it isn't quite fitting, I did give you the Raju voice because it's unique. And it was the one that I felt was most reminiscent of Danny Trejo. So yeah, that arrow hurt. And as I said, I think that's going to make this Heliopolis our number 1 target. Alright guys, how many more of you are there? I would like to have a turn at some point today. More LRMs. Hopefully not fast cam LRMs.
Waiting for orders.
Let's see. I think... Well, I think the first thing, because we basically got this whole turn to ourselves. They have all moved, so we can take this first turn in whatever order we want. So I think the first thing we're going to do is we'll position our artillery and start taking the early shots. Let's see, we got another mech back here, we got another vehicle back here, so there's quite a few enemies on the field. But I think the first order of business is let's start putting some artillery on these turrets and see if we can take them off the field.
I'm reading heavy damage to an
That
enemy
is...
structure. Bring it down.
That is an impressive... Again, we are getting XCOM'd out here. That was a 93% chance. And Carrick just whiffed the hell out of that shot.
Waiting for orders.
So that is disappointing. Let me see. I think we roll up. Where is a decent shot? Because I wanna hit this Heliopolis. And our boy Game Master is definitely the man of mythical shots. So let's go ahead and put the AC-20 on him. We got the hit. It's a heavy mech though, so we're not gonna take him off the field just yet, but we gotta get that Arrow 4 gone
What's up, boss?
as quickly as possible. And we could potentially start moving the LTV around the backside, try to do some flanking maneuvers, and maybe see what we've got over here. But whatever we do, we gotta keep our evasion up. because that's the only thing that's going to keep a hover tank alive. So what do we got? Again, 50-ton vehicle, 50-ton vehicle. Could be worse. Could be worse. So general quarters is up. I'm reluctant to go charging down the hill into this heavy. But at the same time, we've got to be careful about not necessarily leaving ourselves exposed here. Now, we've got some shots. We got a Vedette, AC2 Vedette, and the AC2 is busted, so we don't have to worry about that. We got an AC5 Vedette, and that one's in good condition. We got an antique Drillson, which is good, because we'll be able to take that out pretty easily. Yeah, and everything else we already knew about, so... Again, we're going to give them the full alpha on that Heliopolis, including with the LBX-10. Try and take this guy out. Or at the very least, destroy that Aero 4 system, so that's not a threat. I'm okay with not outright destroying the Heliopolis, but I definitely want it off the field as soon as possible. I want that Aero 4 off the field. Ozark, our sniper, is not going to get too many decent shots. So I think we'll move up here, keep the indirect fire strong, and take a shot at this Vedette, even though it's not a threat. If we can take it off the field, that's going to hurt them in terms of their intelligence and their ability to hit us.
Here goes.
Again, the XCOM is real today. We're missing 90s left and right, and I don't know what's going on right now. I'm starting to get a little bit concerned.
Waiting for orders. Roger.
Like, that was another 93% shot on the frickin' PPC, and we missed. And that should not be a thing that happens at that type of accuracy level.
Commander?
We got our Holy Fat Man. This is our Aero 4 battery, slapped into a Hollander. So I'm going to do the appropriate thing, moves our artillery platform behind some cover, and then we are going to, once again, attempt to sling artillery at this Thunderbolt turret. Maybe. It might be trying to get even with us. On the other hand, we have breached the armor. I don't know, because it doesn't tell me. But just looking at this, I'm assuming that the Aero 4 is in the right arm, which we have currently breached the armor on. So by throwing the arrow at the Heliopolis, we could potentially get a critical on that Aero 4 and take it off the field. I don't know. I don't want us to be taking splash damage. I think we do it.
This should be good.
Hopefully we get a good hit. Yes, there we go. Out-fucking-standing. So we destroyed the Aero 4 on the Heliopolis. That's just going to leave it with a medium laser and some missiles, which doesn't completely remove it as a threat, but it definitely takes it down a few pegs.
Awaiting orders.
So I am 100% good with that. That is an outstanding outcome. And that will allow us to instead focus on some other targets. Now, I'm reluctant to move the Treb up to the ridgeline because, again, we do have this AC2 turret that could very easily take some very nasty shots. However, the Treb can definitely put a lot of hurt downrange. We'll try it for one turn, and hopefully I don't end up regretting that decision. I probably will. But we will take our shot at the AC turret. Maybe we get lucky and we can actually take the thing out, because we've got a very high alpha potential on this Treb. Let's do it. Outstanding. Outstanding.
Brought it down, Commander.
So there we go. By taking out the AC2 turret, we have now removed the biggest long-range threat that we had. Next, we'll need to take out this Thunderbolt. It's only running T-Bolt 5s, which aren't a huge threat, but they are still a threat. So we'll have to be careful. But that's what this is all about, is just the prioritization of targets and making sure that we take the right targets off the field first. Rick's in the Saturday Night Fever. Again, I don't like charging into the enemy, but that's where this mech is most effective. If I move here, what kind of accuracy do we have? So we're not going to be able to hit with the smalls. We're only going to hit with the medium pulses. That's still a lot of potential damage, though. And again, the Heliopolis is still a threat. What else have we got here? Oh, we can only hit with the tag at this range. So yeah, the Heliopolis would be the only thing we can hit from here. If I moved here instead so that we've got tree cover... Yeah, we lose our shot. That's unfortunate. So we're going to have to expose the Grasshopper in order to get a shot at the Heliopolis. Alternately, we could move around the side here and start looking at other targets. The Grasshopper is also one of the few mechs that has jump jets on our team, so we could also just jump down and start getting stuck in. Yeah, that's the other thing, is I'll have to be careful. I mean, I was mostly going to put my artillery here because this is where the targets are, and that's also where the turrets are. Let's see, if we jumped, we're not going to be able to jump down. But what we can do is we can move up here. We'll be able to put the medium pulses on the Heliopolis. So I think we do that, and then next turn we can jump down here, get into cover from the turrets, the direct fire at least, and then move up. So that'll be our strategy, for now. So we'll give them all the medium pulses plus the tag. We're not close enough to hit them with the small lasers. And there goes his tag.
Take that as a lesson.
Yes, Commander.
Now we got the baby back heretic. Let's see. What is our max evasion? If I sprint, because we don't have jump jets on this thing, so we'll have to be careful about where and how we get down off the mountain. But we could potentially run right here, but that's only going to give us 1 evasion. We do have good shots on the Heliopolis. Could take shots at the Thunderbolt turret as well, although it's not really... Unfortunately, turrets are not really affected by accuracy. But I do kind of want to take that Thunderbolt off the field. I think we'll do it. We'll move up. We'll take some shots at the T-Bolt. Again, outstanding. Outstanding. And I think that leaves just Gravelion as the last one left. And he is using our Mortar Panther, so technically he doesn't even need direct line of fire. So I will move him back a little bit. Unfortunately, the mortar is a little bit more limited in its range, so we'll have to be a little more careful. But we've got guided ammo, and we've got regular explosive ammo. I think we bought some Inferno ammo last time, but I did not put it in this Panther. But because of our height advantage, we're already getting massive bonuses to aim. So... still haven't destroyed any other weapon systems on the Heliopolis, so we'll continue to focus him down.
Here we go.
And maybe the splash damage will hit the Jenner as well. We did get a few hits.
Reporting. Critical hit.
So yeah, all in all, pretty good first turn. I don't know if we're going to go charging in just yet, so I think we will brace up the battle armor.
Right, but I'm ready to go.
There is a part of me that wants to charge down there with the Centurion, maybe next turn. Try to put the battle armor on the Heliopolis and see if we can get a decent salvage rating off of that. But we'll see. Also, because of the height advantage... Oh, don't worry, Brayden. I'm all about that focus fire. I've said before, I played a bunch of front mission when I was younger, so I have learned the merits of focusing your targets down. Bolo, of course, with the arrow. I think we kind of already know what we're going to do with this. So let's fling an arrow directly into the target buildings. Oh, you ass clown. I hate that the game does that. Let's see. Can we hit these buildings? Now this is the only one we can hit. Alright, then we won't do that. Instead, I think we take a shot at the Jenner, and hopefully we'll get some splash damage on the Heliopolis. I'm trying not to destroy the Heliopolis. I would like to salvage it if we can. So as much as I would normally focus them down, I want to see if we can like hit splash damage and things like that. Get this dude to panic and eject.
Acknowledged.
So we'll see. We'll see. So there we go. We immediately destroyed the right arm on the Jenner, and we did some respectable damage to the Heliopolis as well. BattleTech? Annie, are you okay? There we go. But again, the elevation is also working in our favor because it's making it very difficult for the enemy to hit us because we have elevation on them. So that's the other thing, is all of the enemies are currently having to shoot up at us, and that's working to our advantage. So let's go attack, and the Jenner moved, but we're going to go ahead and drop some bombs on him again. Actually, we really should. I want to salvage the Heliopolis. I really, really do. But nah, screw it. Let's take the Jenner off the field. We already breached the armor on the torso. There are opportunities for good work there, so we'll switch over to the guided to give ourselves a little more accuracy. Because the Jenner is a little... he's a little evasive. So that's a sensor lock, followed by what appears to be more thunderbolts. But they're not very accurate because they don't have line of sight on us.
I'm receiving you.
Again, Game Master and his mighty AC-20. We'll have to find a decent shot for him. You know what? Being that it's Game Master,
On my way.
and this is an antique Drillson, she might be able to one-time that thing. The only other things he can hit are the Heliopolis and the building. I think again, as much as I want to salvage this thing, but we got to do something here. Well, something blew up. Oh, there we go. Knockdown. Just from the stability damage. I mean, if this guy was gonna eject, it's gotta be now. Right? Like, I mean, if I was in his position, I would be punching out. So I applaud his bravery. A Monin, okay. Again, was not on my bingo card.
Minor damage.
What are you packing? Well, apparently, you either ran out of ammo or just broke your own LRM launcher, and now you just have medium lasers. I don't know how I feel about lambs. I mean, they're not bad, but it would certainly be an interesting toy to play with. We'll see how this goes. Hey, you know, I've said this before. You are allowed to like whatever you like.
Receiving you.
To me, I treat everything the same way I do whiskey. There is no wrong way to enjoy it, and anybody that tells you otherwise is an asshole. So just because I don't care for lambs doesn't mean that your enjoyment of them is lessened or worth less. So, let me see. Again, I think we focused down the Heliopolis. Again, I would really love to salvage it, but
Locking in.
we gotta get guns off the field. So again, I'm hoping we can panic him. He's stressed, he's overheating. Like, come on, buddy. be old school battle technology, Meg. Okay, alright. Oh, is that what the moon is? Is it one of those, like, that, back when they first did the whole thing with, Robotech and they were desperately trying to implement lambs and that kind of stuff into the setting and then the whole lawsuit thing happened? Yeah, a rifleman or a good Jaeger mech will like, if you're running an entire lance of lambs, all it takes is one rifleman or a Jaeger mech, and suddenly you go from dominating to getting ye olde fly swatter. Alright, so we'll move up the treb again. It's kind of a waste to spend this much ammunition to take out a Jenner, but by sheer volume of fire, I think that's the move. If we fire enough missiles, we can hopefully leg this dude or get a lucky shot on the torso, since the torso is currently breached.
Copy that.
And there we go, we managed to make him panic, so that'll work. I will always take a panic over... I will always take a panic over a destruction. Although, now that I'm thinking about it, I don't think it actually matters, does it? Didn't I take max cash on this one and not salvage? Right? Because this is the thing that I always do, where I'm like, oh, the salvage doesn't matter, we need money. And then we find a Heliopolis, and we find an Arrow 4, and, like... Well, shit. On the other hand, I guess it doesn't really matter what we do now, because we ain't getting shit for salvage. So, yeah, gloves off, kids. First things first, I'm the realist. So, is this the one that still has its weapon? It is. We could go after the Moonin. Or we could just focus down the Heliopolis. But I don't want to waste artillery on that when we've got other things that can do that job for us. So I think what we will do instead is since we're using sniper artillery, I think we take a shot at the Drillson. Maybe not. Like, I want to hit something that's going to do decent splash damage to other targets as well. So the Antique Drillson might give us splash damage on these two guys, but we've also got the lowest chance to hit. Screw it. It's artillery. I say before then whiffing the shot in literally the only direction which doesn't hit something else. Oh, BattleTech. BattleTech, what are you doing to me today? I mean, we are just... Like, I know we talked about maybe playing XCOM 2 in the future, but it almost feels like we're playing it already. Like, so some of these shots are just... They're just gross.
Yes, Commander.
Alright, General Quarters. Let's see. I think we do run down the hill.
10-4.
Let's get this LBX into play and start really putting the hurt on these guys. We could shoot at the Heliopolis. I'm not going to do that. And the reason that I'm not going to do that is because, well, shit. I was going to use the battle armor, but I already went ahead and braced them. So assuming this thing doesn't get up next turn, I'm going to throw the battle armor on it. But instead, we'll focus down. We could go for the Drillson. It's not a huge threat. But I think the Panther with its ERPPC is going to be the bigger threat. Even though we're shooting at the wrong side of it, let's go ahead and give them the full alpha. As you do. Actually, hold on. Yeah, the SRMs are going to have less chance to hit. So yep, full alpha. You know what time it is, chat.
Firing all weapons.
And somehow we did not breach the armor on that thing. That is, again, impressive.
Commander.
So we got our hover tank. Again, I don't, like, why? What is going on with, like, for whatever reason, this tank cannot go past, like, this line. And I don't know why. Is it just, like, can the hover tank not go through dense forest or something? I'm confused. Because I'm trying to get it around here to do a little bit of a flank, but I literally can't go any farther this direction. Like, I can go all the way over here, but I can't go to the left at all. So that's really weird. I don't know what's going on with that. That's okay. If I move here, we still can't see the Heliopolis. So I think we move all the way back here. Try to keep the evasion up.
No target.
And might as well just shoot at a building. That's about the only thing you can hit right now.
Confirmed.
Well, normally we haven't had issues with hover vehicles going through forests, which is why I'm wondering, like, is this a different kind of forest? Is there something different about this that's preventing me from getting through there? So I don't really know.
Yeah.
But it's whatever. We got Ozark, again, our designated marksman. Basically got all the shots in the world from this position in the new Griffin that we've put her in. So I think we continue to focus fire down on this Panther. Still got decent chances to hit with the SRMs, but I want to go for volume of fire here, so let's make this shot count.
Locking on and firing it all.
And there goes a leg. So our buddy's going to be taking a dirt nap, regardless of what else happens. Take a break, loser. I'm still wondering, where is that 60-ton vehicle that was up here on the thing? So I don't see them, and it makes me nervous. Ah! Speak of the devil and he shall appear. So whatever that thing is, it's packing some artillery. Well, it's packing some ballistics. And I swear that's not a Resident Evil 4 reference. Saturday Night Fever, you are in a outstanding position to jump down here and put some hurt on... Well, we could hit this AC-5. Let's do that, and then we will give them the full alpha. Now, you might overheat, Rex. You might overheat. But we so rarely get the opportunity to full alpha with the Saturday Night Fever. I think we got to.
Giving you everything I've got.
And that's why you full alpha the vehicles. Because we just melted, literally melted that vehicle. Again, my philosophy is, it's okay to push the heat as long as nothing blows up. In this case, nothing blew up.
Yes, Commander.
Alright, Bigfoot. Now is the time. I don't know, are we gonna... We might not be close enough. Shit. I don't think that counts, Chet. Because that's the range that we have to rodeo the Heliopolis. And if we move, we're not going to be able to rodeo. Okay. What we're going to do, we'll reserve. We will reserve until we get to the Centurion, and then we'll move a little bit closer. Alright, let's see. This is General Quarters, who is not ready to go yet. We're going to have to wait till Initiative 6. Alright, well, who else can go? Gravelion with his mortars can go, so seems like a good fit to me. We'll move up just a little bit to get a little bit closer. And we can now finally see one of these turrets. It is a medium laser turret, so not terribly scary. Instead, I think we put the hurt on this panther that's already on the ground. We'll go ahead and use, well, I was going to say, we don't even need the guided munitions. So we'll fire for the torso, hopefully get the hit, and take this guy out completely. If not, we'll very likely do some respectable damage.
All weapons, go.
No, he still managed to take all those hits. Again, very impressive. But I think that's the last turret we need to identify, the one in the back, which I think is throwing T-bolts our direction. But speaking of artillery, Bolo happens to have a wonderful answer to the prospect of artillery. So I think we shoot at this building, we'll get some splash damage on the rest of the buildings, and we run a good chance of either damaging or taking this turret out. So we will use artillery for its intended purpose.
Firing.
For probably the first time in this campaign. Respectable damage all around.
Standing by.
And we're still waiting for general quarters, which is still in another couple of initiative phases. So we will reserve again. And our boy in the Panther is getting up again. Love the initiative. Love that stubborn mindset. Dude is determined to do as much damage as he can before we ultimately end up sending him to whatever deity it is that he worships.
Orders?
And speaking of, I think that might be what Game Master's about to do. So we will take our 99% chance and hope that we don't get XCOM for like the 5th or 6th time this mission.
Here it is. All right. Hit him hard now.
And there goes the arm, so that takes the PPC off the field. And predictably, he goes ahead and punches out. I mean, it could be possible in 3062, but I don't think we don't currently have any enemies that are outstanding other than one turret in the back, and we have this 160-ton vehicle way up on the hill, and I don't think it can even get down from there. So yeah, I don't think we're going to run into a Thor or an Odin at this point. It's possible. They could drop reinforcements on us, you never know. Never say never, after all. Again, we're still in Initiative 7, so let's go ahead and reserve one more
Standing by.
cotton picking time. And then we should be able to move general quarters a little closer to this Heliopolis and potentially get the rodeo. Oh, yeah, Thor or Odin, for our Rasselhag friends, and yes, I'm going to continue to mispronounce it on purpose. For our Rasselhag friends, yeah, that makes the most sense. I would like to think that their mech warriors probably worship Thor rather than Odin, you know, with Thor being like, well, war being one of his realms. Centurion, shit, we can't actually get down here into this defilade, so we'll have to do this instead.
Location.
We'll roll up here. We're going to take a shot at this Moonin. Give him the business, the full alpha. In fact, we can even use the SRMs for a change and get more damage and better accuracy. So already putting the hurt on this little boy. Yeah, you'll have to forgive me, chat. I'm not great at reading the room sometimes. And so people will say a thing or ask a question, and I'm just like, I have my head so far up my own ass that, like, I don't even realize what you're talking about. So feel free to let me know when I miss the point of something that you said. Alright. Carrick. Some sniper artillery. Yeah, sure, why not? Let's roll up a little bit. And we'll do the same thing. Put some artillery down over here, but I'm going to shoot directly at the turret and hopefully take it off the field.
Roger that.
if we hit.
Hell yes!
There we go.
Turret
And for those of you
destroyed.
that don't know, artillery gets bonuses against structures, and turrets count as structures. So using artillery is outstanding against turrets when you're in missions like this. So us having multiple artillery pieces is
Yes, Commander.
a very good fit for this mission type. Unfortunately, it's going to be very hard for us to get our LVT or our LTV into a position to do much against these guys without also driving through fire. So even though we should be focusing on evasion, I'm just going to use the PPC to do some damage to buildings. Actually, Stuart, now that you mention it, I think these guys are the they're the first tier support lance. So tier might actually make more sense in this case. As their preferred deity. Although, to be fair, we haven't actually killed any of them yet.
I'm receiving.
And now is the time for the rodeo. So we're gonna dismount, we're gonna mount and swarm, and yeah. Time to give that Heliopolis the business. Oh.
That's a kill.
Well, that went much better than I thought. They literally just destroyed the engine on the grapple. So, yeah. There you go. We have officially taken down a heavy mech with battle armor. And it didn't take us 10 turns to do it.
Good to go.
Wonders never cease. Let's see. We can sprint down here to the rim. I don't think I'm going to do that. I think we'll continue to keep the elevated position. And let's take a shot at the slam. We're just going to stand and deliver.
Copy that.
So we're up in the heat. We're going to up his heat generation, which is good because that lamb is running all medium lasers currently. So that's going to make him more reluctant to fire a full alpha at us. And we breached the armor on the torso, which means we're one step closer to taking him off the field completely. Again, Brick and the Trib, I think we just stand and deliver. Pump all that fire into the Moonin. Actually, you know what? I'll save the Moonin for our battle armor, and we will instead fire at the Antique Drillson. See if we can take him off the field. Yeah, because the Antique Drillson not only has less armor than the base version, but I feel like it's almost weaker armor somehow. Because they are very easy to destroy with a salvo of missiles. Normally, I would keep focusing our Griffin in this direction, but we do still have this one little guy off here to the side. And even though he doesn't have a weapon that's really a threat to us, we do want to take him off the field for the bonus objective. So, we'll go ahead and put the hurt on him. And we did breach the armor, so hopefully next turn we'll be able to take him out completely. And because the Griffin has jump jets, it might not be a bad idea to start moving across this valley and see if we can get up here. Is that an enemy? I think that's an enemy. Did you guys see that? I'll see if we can still see it. Yeah, look, it's an outline of a mech, but it's like in the ground. That's weird. Is Antique Roadshow still going on in the 3060s? You know, I bet it is. Because somebody's got to be out there buying those rotundas. Like, they keep changing hands, so clearly somebody's buying them, which means somebody's selling them.
You've got my attention.
Alright, Rex, again, as one of the few mechs in the Lance that has jump jets, you might also be a good fit for going after the 60-ton vehicle. Then again, you do excel at close range. Let's see. If we run instead... Yeah, we're not going to get much difference here. So just looking at this, it looks like maybe a lamb, maybe a spider. I don't know. That profile is kind of hard to read. I hope that they're not expecting us to kill that enemy, because if so, I think that might be bugged out. But let's see. I guess in this case, it's difficult to find a target for the Saturday Night Fever. I mean, you know what? I love giving the battle armor their due. I really do. But Rex doesn't get enough playtime. So let's do the jump. And let's... Ooh. 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 Oh, that's a lot of heat. That is a lot of heat. Alright, we'll turn off the small lasers. Alright, well, you guys know my feeling. My feeling is, if it doesn't blow up, it's fine. But Rex, you're the pilot. Do we go with this level of heat, or do we turn it down just a little bit? I'll let you make the decision. Because we could have a disaster. And we do have some vehicle with autocannons up on the ridgeline. So if you shut down, you're going to be a sitting duck. So I won't make that call for you. I'll let you make that call. Don't want to break it, so be safe. Alright, that's fair enough. So let's turn off a couple of these pulse lasers. We're already in the overheat stage, so I'll turn off one more. We're not going to get a great deal of damage, but we will hopefully get the tag. And that'll make it a little easier for everybody else. Or you could destroy part of the lamb. That works too. So even with just a few shots, you managed to do considerable damage. Well, that also gives the battle armor a chance to do their thing as well. Let's see if we get 2 in a row. Nope. Sounds like it's crowbar time. And again, those T-bolts still don't have any visual confirmation, though, and that's very frustrating. Well, let's get Graveline all the way up here, and since we don't, we are within sensor range, because if you remember, this Mortar Panther actually has a vehicle probe. So let us sensor lock this vehicle and see what we're dealing with. We are dealing with a Bulldog, an autocannon Bulldog with 2 AC-2s and some SRMs. Okay, so the AC-2s, if they're not getting headshots, because they're regular AC-2s, again, not as big a threat as I initially feared. But that's okay, because with the sensor lock, we can now put all of our artillery on that Bulldog. And that's exactly what I'm going to do with a Battlelord Arrow 4, just to start things off. Wow, that didn't do shit. Ah, okay. Alright. Our man's decided he was gonna take off. I mean, say what you will about the lamb as a concept, but there's something about, let's put arms and legs on a fighter jet. Like, that's probably the most anime thing ever.
Standing by.
Unfortunately, my friend, you have made the mistake of being in the direct line of sight of the man, the myth, the legend, Game Master.
Firing. Oh, it's on now. Solid connection on
So
that.
there's the other arm, and our man's has decided he doesn't want no more of that. Which, I don't blame him. I would have ejected too. Unfortunately, we're stuck with crowbar time.
It's okay. Damage is light.
Alright, so once again, Bigfoot has taken damage and will be injured. That's kind of just a thing that happens.
Standing by.
We already know we're not going to be able to cross the ravine on foot. We're going to have to go around the long way. And we still don't have visual confirmation on that last turret, and it's actually really starting to piss me off. Oh, wait a minute. We can actually take a shot at this bulldog with the plasma rifles. So yeah, screw it. That's exactly what I'm gonna do. Overheat or no. Take the shot.
Over the red line.
Well, that's unfortunate.
Engine critical. Shutting down.
Unfortunately, sometimes when you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. So I'll just have to hope that the guy in the bulldog doesn't decide to take a headshot on the commander, because I'm now standing still. Cross your fingers. Let's see. We are also in a position where we can fire the Treb's full complement of missiles at the bulldog, so let's go ahead and do that. In fact, let's do one better and go Battlelord. And that's going to increase the heat, but I'm good with it. Thankfully, rocket launchers don't put out a whole lot of heat.
Come on, people, let's make
And there we go.
one last target.
So that takes the first tier assault lance off the field. Good to know. Unfortunately, unless the turret counts as part of the garrison, that ghost mech may actually stop us from completing the... Oh no, that's this guy. This is the last guy. Never mind. So I think we're good. I don't think we have to worry about ghost mech destroying or ruining our secondary objectives. Let's go ahead and we'll move around with the Centurion. See if we can... Nope, still no visual confirmation. Son of a bitch. But we can at least do some damage to the buildings. Try and take out the targets if we can. Although I feel like the artillery is going to do most of the work on that one. So we'll go ahead and even intensify firepower. And we don't have sensor lock ability on this guy. So we'll just dump this into the buildings.
Roger that.
Structure down.
Outstanding. Wow, I think we took out 3 or 4 buildings on that one. That's impressive.
Waiting for orders.
Good shit, Carrick. Good shit. Might as well intensify powering in, and we'll just shoot at this building.
Roger. Firing.
I am going to destroy the turret, though. Don't worry.
Yeah.
So, Ozark. Now that we don't have to cross the valley, I guess we'll just stand and deliver full alpha into this vedette. Should hopefully destroy it.
Take this. Mm-hmm.
No.
I think I just
Again.
found something special.
Talk to me.
So Rex may actually end up being the one that has to get in close enough for us to fling some artillery at this turret, interestingly enough. We'll continue to use the pulses, but we'll keep most of that stuff turned off. That's fair. A lava lamp would be nice. I need one for the cockpit. Although I do already have the jacket, which I can take off, but I kind of like the jacket that I have.
Affirmative.
Wouldn't that be nice, though, if you could do like you do in MechWarrior 5 and actually, like, when you get into the buildings and stuff, actually find loot sometimes? That'd be pretty cool.
Yes, Commander.
Let's see. I think we just move up. Again, the battle armor might get the business, but it is what it is. Go ahead and shoot the machine guns. It's fine.
Locked.
I'm not expecting the battle armor to accomplish anything. That's also fair. I can imagine most mech warriors being pack rats, and if given the opportunity, they would just like, oh, this looks fun. Just bringing back all kinds of junk and filling their cabins with it.
For orders.
Yeah, I can definitely see that.
Confirm.
Let's see. Gravel Lion, being our sensor geek, is now going to give us the sensor lock that we need on this damn Thunderbolt turret so that we can finally put it out of my misery. So take the shot.
Take this. It's go
There we go.
Enemy eliminated.
All it took was one missile from an Arrow 4. While I can respect the desire to bring back a Daki, Typhoon, my question is, which one do you already own? Be honest. We all know that you do. Which one do you already own? Or ones, if there's more than one.
Watching my heat gauge.
Oh no, to hell with that. I don't want them bringing Legos back. You have any idea how messy mech warriors are? If they start bringing Legos back, they're going to be all over the floor. Especially Game Master. You know how he makes a mess.
Ready for orders.
I mean, usually in a good way, but...
Powered up. Here, watch my heat. I'm taking damage.
Hey, you know what, Typhoon? There is nothing wrong with that. Again, you like what you like. And if you're wearing the thing out, then that just means that you have shown it an appropriate amount of affection. And I'm not going to take that in a bad place. Because I had a stuffed animal that I hate. I had a stuffed animal that I had for many, many years, even into adulthood, that I kept with me. Because I'm a child at heart. And I see you, Rex. I am hydrating. Ooh. So, delicious water. Delicious water. Alright, let's see. Who's up next? I mean, we got one enemy left on the field here. I'm gonna leave that for the guys. And instead, let's use our trap for something a little more artillery related and try to take out some of these buildings. I wish we had multi-target on this person, but we don't, so we'll just fire on single targets.
Leopard inbound, Commander. I'll meet you at the LZ.
There you go. There you go, General Quarters. I see a fellow man of culture. I don't have a horse in this race. So, Rex, it's funny you should mention a crocodile puppet, because the stuffed animal in question that I had was actually a little stuffed T-Rex. And it wasn't like a realistic T-Rex. It was a very cutesy, cartoony T-Rex, because when I was a kid, I loved dinosaurs. And my dad ended up getting me that when I was a little kid, and I kept that, I kept that thing into adulthood, and actually ended up losing it during one of my moves. And I was fucking devastated when I lost it. Like, I still miss that thing, because I used to sleep with it every night. And I still miss it. That toy meant a lot to me. Alright, speaking of, since General Quarters is here and has finally joined us on the stream, again, our unannounced Saturday stream, I think it's only right to let him have a go at meleeing the last enemy and giving them the full alpha, as you do. Because if an LBX... I was about to say, if an LBX and 10 missiles doesn't do the job, then nothing will.
Mech destroyed.
And there we go. Mission accomplished.
Mission successful.
All enemies destroyed, all objectives accomplished. Yeah, General Quarters, you got the Centurion, and I know you're a little bit late to the stream, but we committed a little bit more Hunchback heresy, and as a direct result of that, I am personally piloting the Hunchback in question, and we have handed over the reins of the Centurion to you instead. Since you were the one that was using the Hunchback before, but since I created this abomination, I had to take responsibility for it. So, we actually made quite a bit more money than I thought we would, because we got all of our additional objectives, and we didn't spend nearly as much money on ammo as we have been typically spending in the past. So that's good all around. And we also leveled up our reputation with Steiner, so hopefully we'll be able to find some better stuff in the shop now. Let's check it out. I don't think anybody got injured. We didn't even have any armor breaches. We have the battle armor that, you know, of course got hurt because it's battle armor, but everybody else is good, I think. And salvage assigned. We got Case, we got a Panther part, and we got an SRM2. Well, I don't need an SRM2. Thanks anyway. Definitely would have liked to have gotten that Heliopolis. I'm definitely regretting taking the money instead of the salvage, but it is what it is. We made 1 million C-bills on the mission, so it's hard to argue with that.